everybody. Remy Morvan here, broker owner at Capital Homes Realty. This is episode 3, Real Talk Real Estate. And I'm here again with my main man, Steve Benson. What's going on, bud?
Not much, you.
Not much. All right. So today we're going to be talking about the business mindset. Too many people I find in real estate come into the business with no mindset whatsoever. They just expect to get to a brokerage and then just learn how to do real estate. But the successful ones and the people that have been successful have been able to break that barrier and actually understand that they're running a business and they run them very well, like fine oil machines, and some do it a lot of different ways. So there's always a million ways to do it. And we're going to go through some of the different tactics and things that people will do, ones that we agree with, ones that we strongly disagree with, and others that we do ourselves and that we believe in, and probably the way of the future. So, Steve and I have been in business now for probably a combined years of probably 10 or so years in real estate. So we connected when Steve joined the brokerage because of the mindset that we have of building a business. And Steve obviously works for Capital Homes, but also is building the Wellington Street Partners and doing it in a very different way than what most real estate agents would do. One of the things is I find that plagues our industry is scripts and scripts training and all that time that is spent on learning that stuff instead of taking that same. A lot of people will mirror what they see from another agent, but they've never even split tested, saying, okay, take that same amount of time and go do this, and then take that same amount of time and go do this, and what works better, what makes you feel better inside too. You've worked for multiple brokerages too.
Yep.
Have you trained scripts?
Not really. I
think I've been told to train scripts.
Yeah, well, I think I've seen a ton of scripts. I've used a couple. In the beginning I tried everything. I don't think that you can be it helps to be more well-rounded if you've tried a few things. Immediately I knew cold calling wasn't for me, but there was a script that I used. I wouldn't say that I've ever actually trained scripts. Like, I've never sat across the table from somebody.
You were given, when you were a new agent, you were given a script that says this works.
Yeah.
Cold call people.
Yeah, and it's the old saying that, or the old sort of story of, should you sharpen your axe or just start cutting trees?
Exactly.
Obviously, I'm butchering it, but taking the time to sharpen your axe is one way for people to convince you to train scripts. Now, I would say flip it the other way and take time to actually give yourself a well-rounded skill set in a way of sharpening your axe, of knowing how to record a podcast or how to do this or just to become knowledgeable about the market, because at the end of the day, that's your job. Yeah,
well, and it's exactly the people that take like how many hours a week training scripts, and then you ask them about a new development that's starting in Ottawa, and they're like, oh, I haven't heard about it because I had my head buried in script paperwork that I didn't actually get time to read the news. I didn't go and check out the latest developments or the latest. I'm surprised at how I have plenty of real estate Facebook friends, and the sheer lack of sharing the information that came out from all the new mortgage rules and mortgage brokers too. Like, shame on you. Like, so many people did not put out the information, and it's stuff that's so much more important. Do you want to take the time to educate your existing audience, which micro content doesn't take that much time to do. You just literally need to do it. So you instead of taking the time to share that information, which was massive change in the real estate industry that's going to affect a lot of people, the sheer lack of quietness, or sorry, the sound of silence, of no one speaking out about it, kind of boggled my mind. I made a video about it. I shared some sheets on the prices that are going to change and the response and the amount of direct messages that I got and questions and people that are concerned, people calling like, holy crap, should I buy next week? You know, and trying to calm the storm of it. And it's our duty as to provide that information and our opinion on it, right?
And I mean, it kind of goes to show, so that one little piece that you shared with me as well, that on the prices and what it means to your down payment and that sort of thing, and what you can now afford based on your salary, that has I've had 3 or 4 conversations in the last week about what that means to people. They might not even be planning on buying or selling in the next little bit, but they're concerned about it. Yeah. And I mean, realistically, there's not a lot to be concerned, especially if you're looking 2 years down the road, because now that's just how it is. Yeah. And, you know, buying today isn't going to change what happens in 2 years. Like, no. For all we know, it's going to be a much higher interest rate by that point. But we don't have a crystal ball. So.
And it goes back to the same notion of the people that didn't speak out about this. Is either, and you get this a lot, there's a lot of agents that will read headlines and they don't. The only reason I have an opinion on it and that I'm able to speak out about it with confidence is that I didn't read the headlines. I read 4, 5, 6 different articles from 6 different opinions from 6 different economists about it to educate myself. So I took that time in on my Monday morning to educate myself on all these things. So then I can speak about it confidently and meeting people that I'm not just putting the information, giving them the new rule. Yeah. The new rule is this. Well, what does it mean? What is it? When you don't have an answer or your answer seems shaky, you've actually lost credibility. Like not only like, hey, you're a real estate agent, you should know this, and now I don't really believe, or it doesn't sound like you know what you're talking about. And it's all because we're all headline readers. We don't. We get it through our newsfeed. You're like, oh crap, what are the new rules? Those are the new rules. Okay, well, I guess now I know the new rules, but do you really know them? Right? And I told everyone to share that piece of content because the amount of messages
it starts conversations.
Exactly, but share it as long as you know what the hell you're talking about.
Exactly, and I mean a tool for people that are listening, for the listeners out there, if you use Google. And I think 90% of people use Google or have a Google account. And if you don't, you should just go sign up for a Gmail account and you'll get all these tools. But go to Google Alerts. If you look at Google Alerts and you put in Mortgage Rules Canada, you can set up alerts for all kinds of different things. So you get any kind of news that comes out about that. Right to your inbox every day, every morning, every 2 days. You have the control to set it. So use Google Alerts. It'll keep you informed.
And it's when you get the business mindset where too many real estate agents, especially when they're starting, they get put through training and it's like, well, what do I do? Okay, well, it's Monday morning, make your 200 calls, do this. You're going to, and it's through a system that it's proven its merits in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, and people are still doing all these things, but there's a reason why there's a 90% failure rate. If what you're doing, what they're telling you to do really works, then why are 90% of people not renewing their license after 3-4 years?
Yeah. And I mean, I think we need to preface it by saying that no tactic works if you're not good at it. Yeah. Right? You need to put the time in to get good at it. The first time that we did a podcast, like the first time we ever spoke on camera or anything like that was brutal.
It sucked.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
It sucked.
Cool.
You're not comfortable. You're not. You're over prepared and under prepared, and it's everything all at the same time. But you suck. The first time you make that cold call, you're gonna suck. And the people that are good at cold calls and good at scripts, and if that's what you spend your time on, make money. Mm-hmm. Average person, like every agent I've ever talked to about it, who's not a hardcore phone person, is like, I don't really like doing it.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was going to say. No matter of how much you practice it, if you don't enjoy it, you're going to come up with excuses not to do it, or you're going to come up with your own excuses of why it failed and didn't work. Like I have never, will never cold call or train scripts or anything like that. Yeah. It's just not. I'd come off as a liar, it's just not who I am. Like my second year, from year one, I always had, I'm not going to do what other real estate agents are doing. I'm going to go seek something else out. And I did it myself with no hand holding, but I went out and seeked a business mindset and said, okay, well, if these other businesses, I just happen to be in the business of real estate, but if I'm really going to build something that is sustainable over time, that I don't have to constantly chase people and new business, how can I build it? Well, businesses have been around, longer than real estate agents have been around. So to grab those pillars from a business mindset and build something and just become an authority by learning everything about the real estate industry, instead of learning how to sell someone, it's how about I learn everything I can about my industry. I chose to get into this industry, an industry that people hate us for. Like, why not try to understand why they hate us? Why is there a stigma with real estate agents where, and you get it once you hear all the stories and you see all the tactics that are being used. But I find we've been giving a gift, especially anyone getting into real estate now or that's been in real estate for maybe less than 10 years. We are so lucky with the technology that we have now. Yeah. We don't just have the telephone to reach people. We have access to all these things that we can be. There is a huge lack of creativeness, I find, in real estate. No one looks outside the box. They're just like, I'm told to, this is what I do. And here are the scripts that were written in 1998 from this guy who sold a lot of houses, and I'm going to follow those same scripts, right?
Yeah, and that's it. And we have the opportunity to communicate en masse. Like, you were uploading the last episode 1 the other day, and in 20 minutes it was on 5 platforms. Yeah. Right? So we have the ability to put this out there and have hundreds of people hear a message and hopefully thousands at some point.
Eventually.
But you can put something out there and 100 people can see your video on Facebook in a matter of hours. Like, that's not crazy to say. For you to make those 100 phone calls, it's going to take you, let's say, an hour and a half, 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And in the 3 minutes it took to upload it, you can spend the next 57 minutes learning about the market, learning about what you need to do in real estate, or reproducing that and doing it more and more and more.
Well, and it's also, when you think about it too, the piece of content that you create. So say in total, it took me to create the video about the mortgage rules, to post it. Say it took me all of an hour to do it. And within a couple hours, I have like 600 views on Facebook. I have a ton of engagements. I have people direct messaging me. But guess what? In 3 more minutes next week, or if I want to run a Facebook ad against that, the content's there, so I can reuse, and I can I can reuse it. If ever there's a change to the mortgage rules, I can use that video to go back to, and the content's already created, and put it up against a new video comparing what the new rules have changed, right? Like, the content can be used and used again over and over in different. A new platform comes out tomorrow. I can say, like, wow, I like this platform. It makes real sense. I should post that video that I did 2 weeks ago and do it, right? That phone call, you're always chasing, and you're always creating these things that are like a mailer. Once you send out the mailer, it's gone. Yeah. Can't use it again.
Pay another 25 cents for the next one, and 25 cents. And that adds up.
Yeah. Probably even more than that. Like, when you look, there's no right way or wrong way, but both me and Steve definitely believe it's do it with what you're comfortable with. Don't do what people are forcing you to do.
And I mean, if you're comfortable with knocking on doors, I can almost guarantee that you're not, and you shouldn't be, right? Like, but if you're comfortable doing that, and that's what you love doing, and since you were a wee lad or lass, you've been going around knocking on doors, talking to people. Yeah. Wait.
And that you're comfortable, but right? It's like, also, what's your message when you're going knocking on doors? Like, I've heard so many stories where they're like, yeah, well, this is my strategy. I go and I say, I've got a client looking in the area. I really don't have a buyer in the area, but I'm like, well, if you can sleep and look at yourself in the mirror, and a lot of salespeople can, they're comfortable with that. Or what about reversing it? And I did one mail out in my entire career, and it got a great response, but it was very time consuming, but I got a really good response because I gave value. I researched the neighborhood to death, and I got everybody's personal address, and I personalized every letter. Like, it wasn't just hi, it was hi Joanne and Steve, or it was, you know, there, and it got great response, but the message that I was delivering was something of value and information that they would have never known before. I wasn't lying to them. I wasn't asking for their business. And it got really, really good response and listing presentations. And I still have people on alerts for their area today, right?
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on door knock? Have you ever door knocked?
I've tried it.
You've tried it?
Okay. I tried it briefly. I did a small stint kind of in the Hindenburg area, and I went around and I dropped off some stuff about me and about my business and what I thought and the area a little bit, and I got a good response from it, but it was a better response by dropping off the personalized letters than talking to you about the door.
Yeah.
I remember I'd walk up to the door. I had to psych myself up for an hour before going to do it. Then I had to go knock on the door, and every time think to myself, I hope nobody answers the door, right? and it was probably on the 40th house that I knocked on that I just said, you know what?
It's not for me.
It's not for me. I'm done.
And that's what I said. Like, and people will say, like, well, Remy, don't, no pun intended, don't knock on door knocking because you've never done it. And no, I have never done it, but I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, that I didn't do it because I knew I didn't want to do it. So instead of spending 4 or 5 hours trying it, I said, okay, I'll take that same amount of energy and time and put it towards something that I want to do, that makes me feel comfortable. You know, there's no awkward conversations. You're getting your door, you know, slammed in your face. And I've done door to door, like when I first got out of college, and maybe that's what's traumatized me as well, that I'll never do it again.
Right? You know, you don't want to do it.
I just know my personality. I know I'm aware enough to know that will make me very uncomfortable.
And not, you know what? The biggest asset you can have is confidence in sales. Like in sales or in any kind of business that's customer facing, right? So the bartender that is nervous and it's his first day on the shift, on the job, is going to make less money than the person who's been doing it for years and is comfortable and confident and willing to put themselves out there. Same thing. There's no difference. So, like, when you walk up to a bar and you have somebody who's like, hi.
Or trying to fake it, or, you know.
Yeah. Or can I get a drink? Or you walk up and it's like, hey, how's it going? Can I grab you this? Why don't you try this? Why don't you try that?
Yeah.
Giving you actual valuable suggestions. Or you get the guy who's just over the top, faking it, telling you things that you know aren't true about different wines and that sort of thing. It's the same thing. It's that, you know, if I'm comfortable speaking into a mic, and I'm comfortable on video, and I'm comfortable speaking to people face to face.
And I'll bet you there are probably a lot of people that go door knocking, that like it, and that wouldn't do a video or a podcast because they're worried. They're okay with the one-on-one aspect. Yeah, they're like, I'm comfortable with that. No one's judging me, and, like, you know, or only one person is judging me instead of thousands. And what if I embarrass myself? So I get there's probably people that would choose door knocking over doing something like this, like a podcast or a video. But it's not to knock on podcasts and video either, right? Like, I'm not knocking on door knocking in the sense, because just like you said, like, some people are really good at it. To me, what's wrong is when your message is you're lying, or you should door knock to just, you know, in a scammy way or anything like that. Like,
exactly.
Just do it to your best intentions, and it will work with practice.
Yeah.
You're gonna suck. Yeah. You're gonna suck at the beginning.
Go around, introduce yourself, tell them what you feel, like what your values are, and what you think the neighborhood is, and just know that people are gonna work with you if they want to work with you. Mm-hmm. Like, if you knock on my door 4 times in a month, you're gonna get a mean answer at the end of it. Like at the fourth week. Like, it's just. And
I find me and you both have the same kind of consultant approach to our business, right? I don't think I've ever tried to sell anything in my real estate career. Like, I consult. I will give you the information. I don't have to beg. I don't have to try. I don't have to. It's more, do you want to work with me or not? When I get a no, or if I'm, you know, open houses are the best when you know the person hates the house, doesn't like the house, and they give you a short answer. I spend zero time trying to convince them to work with me. I will I will take that same amount of time, and the people that are hardcore salesmen and closers will be like, oh no, you gotta, it's all in the follow up. And it's like, okay, I could take that same time that I'm following up and chasing someone and begging them, and I can take that same, I'm not saying that I say no and then I don't do anything. I take that same amount of effort and I go look for people and educate people that want want to work with me. So instead of taking time chasing one person, maybe I take that same amount of time and it gets me two. Yeah. And then the transaction, everything is easier because there's trust that's built there, everything, right? Yeah. And in this industry, I find that's kind of why people don't trust us. And when they do, speed of light, right? Like Chris just did a deal where, and he, multiple offers, 7 offers, and he won it only because his client trusted him. And he built that, like, this is a client that he's been working for so it was just trust. Like, Chris, what do? We need to do this or you're going to lose the property. And they got it, right? Where a lot of people, when you meet someone and they don't like you and you force them to work with you, they probably wouldn't have been okay with what you're suggesting.
They're looking for the negative. They're looking for the part where you rip them off, right? And I found that too, is that, if you have trust, like if people realize that they can legitimately trust you, you have no problems. Mm-hmm. Like you can tell them, this is what we have to do to get this house. If you don't want this house, that's totally fine. And it's not coming from a pressure, like using time sensitivity for anything. But if you want this house, you need to do this. If you don't want this house, we look at the next one. Yeah. The end, when people go, oh, okay, let's do it. Yeah. Right? Or, no, let's go to the next one. Perfect. Yeah. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah.
It doesn't matter to you, but it does to a lot of other, like I remember the first house I ever bought. And we were looking, and we basically booked an afternoon to see 3 houses. These were the first 3 houses that we had ever seen, and that's when you could smell the scripts coming out of the agent's mouth, because they didn't want to show us any more houses. Like every house was perfect, and we were like, well, we don't like any of them. Yeah, like one of them, she was like just trying to shove it down our throat, and it had like the tiniest backyard. We have 2 dogs. Like the backyard was literally probably like 4 feet wide because it was on a corner lot. So like after you put the deck and then the hedges, there was like maybe 3 feet, 4 feet, and she's trying to shove it down our throat, and you can smell. Then it's like, okay, something's up. She's lucky that we actually went through and bought a house with her. Yeah, because I would have liked to fire her right from the get. But it's like
looking back now is
And how do you? 70% of people will. So this was the first realtor that we were sent to, and we hired her, but only 11% ever do a repeat transaction with their agent. Well, I would never do another transaction with that person, nor would I refer her. So with those kind of tactics, she'll likely. I don't think she's in real estate anymore, but she'd always be chasing the next transaction because there's no one like. Why not build something on good? I find that's my whole message all the time. Like, but there's a million ways to do it: door knocking, cold calling, mailers, email marketing. Have you ever cold called?
Yeah, I tried it. Yeah. I tried it. It wasn't. I did it in buildings, so it'd be like
cold calling a whole build, like a
cold call building. Okay. And it didn't work. Like that was again probably I did 50. I think I did 50 calls. And of those calls, I talked to 2 people. Yeah. And of those 2 people, I was just wasn't. It.
This was in the beginning.
Very beginning. And you can't. I just find you can't build any kind of connection. You can't. Well, for me, I'm not a.
What was the switch for you? What did you say? Okay, this is the path I want to go. Screw all these. Screw the cold calls. Screw door knocking. This is the path I want to go.
I was kind of always on that mindset, but being a new agent, and this is. I can 100% sympathize with a lot of agents out there that when you first start, you're like,
you don't know
shit,
what to do.
What am I going to, like, where does my money come from? Where do I find money? And the truth is you just have to become a trusted agent. Like the amount of phone calls, the amount of questions that I field in a week has become huge. Like it's become great, and it proves that I can have a sustainable business and everything's fine. But at the beginning, I was like, okay, if I can just convince somebody to work with me, I can show them
that you're good,
that I'm good, and that I'm trustworthy, and whatever else. And that's kind of the opposite of what you should do, because you're starting out begging for business, right?
Well, which is tough too. The word trustworthy too is every single agent regardless if they are or not, are going to use that word, right? So it's difficult. You need that experience to prove it, because how many are saying they're trustworthy, and then at the end it's a nightmare, right?
Exactly.
So you need those connections to, but and a lot of agents, so a lot of, like you said, it's hard for a new agent, and they're going to say, okay, well, Remy, Steve, like then what do I do? Yeah. Like I think me and Steve's models work in the sense that it's content.
Yeah.
It's content, and it's not necessarily content directed to other people. It's to, or people that we don't know, even putting the content towards the people that you know and that you care about. Yeah. Like the content that I do, like I'm not doing it to make money. I know when you start focusing away from making money in a sale, the money will come because you're building yourself as an authority, and then the referrals and even the more you educate yourself. Like one of the best things that I love about open houses, I'm not crazy on open houses, but when you hit a connection and you instead of trying to study scripts, you study the market. The moment you're in a conversation and they're like, holy crap, this guy knows what he's talking about. Yeah. You instant credibility. Yeah. Instant. And they know you're not full of BS because you're not feeding them BS. You're literally having a normal conversation. You just know everything there is to know about the area, or things that are going on, or the new mortgage rules. Like you don't just know what the mortgage rule is. You know the effects of it. You know the depreciation and the percentages that it's gonna affect, and you've just built yourself instant credibility, right? And so the biggest thing for new agents is to don't read headlines, read the details, study the market, not scripts. Take the same amount of time that you were to study a new script, and study the market, and start generating content and news videos and podcasts like this. Like, I don't know who's listening, and it might take a year to get any traction from it.
Out there, enjoy this.
Yeah. That's exactly. Contact us, and we'll help you, and we'll send you a huge thank you for listening. But blogs, like Steve blogs, and Steve has a niche marketing through Boxer Rescue that he's carved out, right? Like Steve cares about boxers and dogs and things. And so there's no denying anyone he meets that is like sees the love that he has for that. And so many people, like, do you want to spend your time being in an office cold calling people, or do you want to be out there doing something you love and helping? And then people will find out you're an agent. You don't have to call them on their cell phone, even though they've subscribed to the do not call list, and to find out that you're a real estate agent. If you're doing things out in the community, you're gonna meet people. They're gonna find out you're an agent, and they're gonna find out that there's a layer beneath you, right?
Yeah, and there's something to be said about the training that's out there right now. A lot of the training that's happening in the bigger brokerages, and I'm sure some of the smaller brokerages too, is being done by people who are, arguably older and didn't grow up with social media, right? So Facebook is like, it's Facebook, it's that thing that's online. Now, these people have a lot of experience and can definitely give you the ins and outs, and there's nothing to knock. Like, I'm not trying to knock the trainers, but Facebook is real life. Like, who you are on Facebook is who you are in real life, and if you change your persona all of a sudden to, somebody that's very vanilla and not, you're trying to put forward something that you're not. These people have grown up with you. The people that are on Facebook see your posts, know your posts, know what you're doing. They saw the hilarious meme that you put out there 5 years ago. That was a little bit on the offensive side, but also on the hilarious side. And they're going to know when you switch. And that's, if you want to know how to lose credibility immediately, that's it.
It's to try to, when we were talking about this earlier, to become, it's like, I'm a real estate agent now. I need to change myself to be a real estate agent.
Like your headshot is your profile picture, and your all your pictures, you've untagged anything that's offensive, and you only post about real estate. And if you're not posting about real estate, it's like, this is my dog, and this is a house, and look at where we are. We're in this beautiful neighborhood.
You used to care about the Blue Jays, and all of a sudden you're like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to give my opinion that guy sucked or that guy did this.
Exactly, because you're afraid of offending somebody. Well, you know what? Something that I've learned is that if people are offended by what I say, I probably don't want to work with them anyways. Yeah. Because it's what I say. Yeah. So, like, not that I have any extreme opinions or anything like that, but if somebody wouldn't call me to help them with real estate, that's fine.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Like I'll work with somebody who's really, pumped to get out there and work with me. So
yeah. Exactly. And it's even through open houses, a lot of agents will be like, well, the new agents do open houses and try to get leads from open houses. But it's funny that when you actually switch it around and you're like, no, I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to try and, put you on a search.
Yeah.
And when you tell them, you're like, you're going to go, how many open houses are you going to? Oh, we got 3 more. Okay. I'm like, they're all going to put you on a search. Everyone can put you on a search. So just make sure that you select someone out there, get an agent that, you feel comfortable working with, not someone that's just going to script you into doing it, right? Like when you switch the mentality of actually not chasing people for their business, like you actually see a lot more.
Take the pressure off too.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Go to an open house. Talk to some people.
Yeah. Remember, like you are a business. You're running a business. You're running. If you were, how many sandwich shops get on? Like, hey, this is John from John Sandwiches. You want to come have a sandwich at my sandwich shop today? Like, is that how they get their business? Like, why can all these businesses succeed by not doing these sneaky, tricky, salesy things? And even like a car dealership, as much as like people don't like agents, real estate agents, they even hate used car dealerships. But even the used car dealerships are cold calling you like, hey, this is John's from John's Auto. Yeah. Are you going to buy a car from me today? Like, they don't need to do those things. Yeah. Like, you're a business. You've gotten your real estate license. It just so happens that the business that you're in is real estate. So there's a million ways to do it. A million. And so you do it. We have to get out of doing it the way it always was. We have so much technology now and so many ways to do it. Like you said, like Facebook, you need to be yourself. Like what people don't understand as well. Like, and some people will say like, well, you need to get a business page and start posting on your business page. Like, no, I tell everyone when I'm speaking, I tell everyone like, forget your business page. It's there just for your ads. Yeah. Facebook is evolving and growing, and it will be scary when I share some of the information on how much information they know about you that you don't think they know about you. Yeah. It's insane, and it's growing. And why do you think Facebook is buying all these apps and building these apps, these messages? You're going to be, if it continues, and if Facebook does continue the way they are going, it's going to be, and people may not realize these mega apps that are in Asia, but that's what Facebook is going. And I've met agents who are like, I don't feel like I should do anything on Facebook. It's like, okay, well, you go ahead and door knock one person by one person. When you can if you have a good message to send and your content is good, you can reach thousands and tens of thousands of people if you're willing to do the advertisement on Facebook as well. But so it's interesting. A million ways to do it.
You got to pick your way. What are you comfortable with?
Yeah, exactly. Don't let someone tell you to do it one way. Don't even listen to me and Steve. If you hate Facebook, or you hate making videos, or you hate podcasts, then don't do that. But don't be put in a box of saying this is the way I did it, so this is the way you have to do it. Just figure your way out. But also with the business mindset, it opens your eyes to other ways. Like that's what I did. I took a business DVD course. Like it was like 50 DVDs, and I listened to all of it. And that strategy was like, there was 100 different strategies, and I picked one. And the strategy that I used was to become an educator, to spend all my time learning about the market and then letting people know about it. Yeah. And educating people on it instead of trying to sell them to use me. So, always the passionate. This is real estate's most passionate podcast. We're gonna be working out on some audio stuff for the next episode, and hopefully have a guest join us over Skype or over the phone. So please check us out on that will be episode 4. Yeah. So until next week, guys, I want to say thank you to Steve Benson, and thanks for everyone that's listening. There's not a lot of you right now, we know, but we're going to keep grinding and build it. And we appreciate any comments, direct messages, phone calls, even if they're bad, good. You can give us your opinion. We're big boys. We can take it.
Where's the best place for them to find you?
Best place for me is Facebook, or email rmorvan@capitalrealestate.ca. But you can literally find me on Facebook, Remy Morvan. There's another guy. He's a DJ in France. He's the only other Remy Morvan. He's not me. So don't email the Remy Morvan. That's a DJ in France. But you can direct me, and people don't realize you can direct message people on Facebook, even though you're not friends with them, right? So that is the best place to find me. And you, Steve?
You can find me on Facebook. I'm a little tougher to find. There's a cartoonist and an author and a bunch of other Steve Bensons. I never get Steve Benson as a username. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter at _ Steve Benson.
Perfect. Guys, thank you so much. We truly appreciate every single person listening to this. It means the world to us. So until next week, guys, take care.
Have a good one.